creepy coffin to go into your graveyard to just give it that extra little creepy factor. But you also need it to be pretty inexpensive, cheap, and easy. Well, let's do it. Items needed for this build: 2 or 3 large size cardboard boxes, a tape measure, a square or some other straight edge tool, a pencil, a box cutter, duct tape, paint, and paint sticks. Like all of my builds, the strength of the project is going to be determined by the product that we use to build it with. I prefer, when I do my cardboard stuff, to use the double-walled cardboard, but it's not always easily available, so I'm going to demonstrate this one using single-wall cardboard. It's a lot easier to come by. You can also use wood for this project if you're feeling a little richer. These measurements work great with wood, but instead of using tape, you're going to use cupboard door hinges to put it together. Then, at the end of the season, just remove the pin for an easy knockdown and easy storage. Anyways, all moving boxes, cardboard boxes, have a seam where they're put together. We're going to open this box at the seam. In this video, I'm going to refer to this as the top of the coffin, these as the top sides, these as the bottom sides, and this as the bottom. I want to use as much of the natural straight cuts on the cardboard as possible. I'm going to make all of my side pieces 8 inches thick, 8 inches wide. So my first piece I'm going to do is my top of the coffin, and I'm going to make it 10 inches long. This is 8 inches wide by 10 inches long. Use the straight edge to make a nice clean line. And then I'm going to mark this as the top. Next, I'm going to measure out for the 2 top sides. Again, they're going to be 8 inches thick or wide by 17 inches long. Now, going from where I drew the top here, 8 inches is going to put me right in the crease of the cardboard, and it's not really good because it'll be creased on the box. So we're going to move over to the next part of the cardboard and do the 2 top sides on the next clean piece of this cardboard. And I'm going to avoid the handhold thing that's in the box here. Using these creases in the cardboard as my guidelines again, I'm going to use that as the edge of my build. So I'm going to go from the innermost crease here, measure 8 inches over. So it's 8 inches wide for the other top half, the other top side piece. 8 inches. And now I need to measure 17 inches long. Once again, avoiding the handhold in the box wherever possible. It's not always going to be possible. We are going to have to deal with a few of those, just not yet. The 2 bottom sides I'm going to make 42 inches long by 8 inches wide. On most boxes you can go from the top flap to the bottom flap on the box, but this box fell a little bit short, so I'm going to use the rest of the box this way to get the 2 bottom side panels. The last piece we need to measure is the bottom. And any one of these flaps on the very edge here, which is the top flap of the box, the bottom flap of the box, any one of them will work. It's already 8 inches, and so the final measurement for the bottom is 9.5 inches wide, and that should give us all of our sides. A quick recap on all the measurements for the side pieces. The top piece is 10 inches, the top sides are 17 inches, the bottom sides are 42 inches, and the bottom is 9.5. The next thing you need is a nice sharp blade. Now take several passes when cutting your box. Don't try to do it all in one pass there, or you're going to just tear and shred the cardboard. So with the first pass, just score the cardboard to get your lines straight. Second pass, go a little deeper, and if you need a third pass, do a third pass and you'll get a nice clean cut. So now you should have all of the sides of the coffin cut. The bottom piece, it's nice and stiff. The top sides, they're good solid pieces, but we have a problem. The bottom sides had to go over the crease in the box, so it's not, you know, real happy, not real strong. We're going to take one of the free stir sticks that we got from the paint department, and we're going to tape it on here like a splint and stir this thing up. Once you have that plastered on there, no more bending. We're ready to move on. So luckily you marked all of your parts, correct? And we're going to start with the top. We're going to take the top, take one of the top sides and tape it end to end like this. Take the other top side on the bottoms and tape it like this. We're going to lay this flat across the ground, and we're going to do this with all the pieces in all the right spots. Now take a second to really get these lined up good so it's a nice straight line there. And don't be shy with the tape, because we're just going to paint over it. And start taping. And I'm going to flip, tape the other side. I'm going to make sure this thing doesn't fall apart. Next, you're going to take the two bottom side pieces, one on that side, one on this side. You get where I'm going here. And of course, the very last thing we have is the bottom piece, and you can put that on either side. It doesn't really matter, because this thing's going to be folding over and connecting all in the end. Now, because this thing is only taped at all the seams, it should bend really easy where we want it to. So now we're going to start forming this guy. It's easiest to find the top piece, which is right directly in the middle, and start bending it and shaping it from there. We're going to take the top, we're going to bend kind of at an out angle for the top sides, and more of an in angle for the bottom sides. Now once the coffin is taken the shape that you like, you're going to measure these top two corners, which should be about 24 or 25 inches. In this case it's 24. And I'm going to go to my scrap pieces over here, and I'm going to cut a strip which we will strengthen up with a couple more of the wood stir sticks. So since the gap at the top of the coffin is 24 inches wide, I cut a 26-inch piece that I'm going to fold up at each side so I can tape it in there. Now it's time to grab the second box, and like the first one, we're going to split it at the seam. Now this part's a little tricky because the frame is still a little bit wobbly. So we're going to set the frame on top of the flat second box that we just laid out, and we're going to kind of shape it until we got the shape that we like. Once you've established the shape that you like, I put a couple of little just temporary pieces of tape to hold it in place. Because now I'm going to get a pencil or a marker, and I'm going to trace this onto that second box. Just like before, grab a sharp knife, take your time. Once again, if you want to strengthen up the lid a little bit, you can use a couple more stir sticks and tape them on there. You can leave it flimsy, it doesn't really matter because we're going to tape it to the frame now. Also, this is where the third box comes in if you want to do a lid to make it a closed box. then you'll use the third box. That's why I said use 2 to 3 boxes, because in this example I'm only going to use the 2, but if you want to use one for a lid, you'll need a third one. And also, don't worry about all the little holes and handholds and all the little things that are the little imperfections in the box. We could just use that to decorate this thing up. I taped over this handhold, but you could leave it, make it look like a skeleton's hand is breaking out of it. Be creative with it. And now that we have all the edges taped, inside and outside the coffin, it's time to paint it. And of course, we're going to start out with black. Next, I'm going to hit it up with a couple different shades of brown to start giving it a more old wooden texture. As you're looking at the colors, it gives it a very dirty old look. If you feel like you want to display something on the inside of the coffin as opposed to just using the back side of the coffin as display, you probably want to paint the inside of the coffin too. Now ultimately, of course, decorating the coffin is up to you. Take some of the spare pieces of cardboard that you have, cut the edges, tape them up here like it's a couple nailed pieces of wood, like we don't want the vampires to get out of this thing. Or do we? Put some chains around it, paint the details of wood onto the thing, whatever. For the sake of the video, the last thing I'm going to do, I actually have some stencils, and I'm going to spray paint lettering across here, and before it fully dries, I'm going to take a rag and dab at it so it looks like, well, the paint has started to wear off over the years. Let me know in the comments below what kind of fun finishing touches did you put on your coffin. Be sure to check out some of my other videos for some fun, easy builds. Till then, keep it spooky, my crazy friends.